Check her shoes for knives. Check her shoes for knives. I heard that in 7th grade, sitting in my science class, waiting for my teacher to pass out exam grades. But it didn't stop there either. Check her backpack for a bomb. That was in 8th grade. Every time an airplane flies over, or I hear news of another terrorist attack, all eyes in that room turn to me, and they all ask me the same question: are you dangerous? I'm a second-generation immigrant. My mother came here from Pakistan 15 years ago to give me a better life, a place where I can have a good education, so I can have a fulfilling career path. Now, there's a stigma that many immigrants come to support themselves, to create a better life for themselves. And this may be true in some cases. A lot of immigrants come for their children, to make their children are safe. So imagine what it felt like for my mother, someone who sacrificed everything, thinking America would be a wonderful place, watching her daughter hear those words at such a young age. The one thing my mother always said to me was, Areesha, I don't need anything but you. But the one thing I ask of you, though, is you do everything you can to be successful. My family sacrificed everything for me. My mother, her 2 medical degrees, just so I can have an American citizenship. The United States medical licensing exam is a 3-part exam, which includes application and the examination of the doctor's ability to provide adequate health care for their patients. This rigorous process falls around 8 years of schooling, and then comes residency, where the problem truly lies. Residency programs want those young, fresh minds, students straight out of med school, and these foreign doctors have been licensed and established and practicing in their foreign country for years at this point. So when they come here, they're competing with the young medical doctors. These young trainees are straight out of med school, are easily trainable and good with modern technology, so they will be competing with the foreign doctors. This is not just a problem in all career fields. It's in everything we do. But that's educated immigrants. What happens to the uneducated immigrants? In 2018, the Bureau of Labor Statistics revealed that immigrants make up to 17.1% of the American labor force. That means blue-collar jobs, or what we call back-breaking. So these immigrants will work countless hours upon a day to provide a little bit of money for their families to get food on the table. They will work jobs such as construction and factory work. Now, these immigrants, because they have no education, will never be able to get professional or management jobs. So they will never be able to truly provide for their families. Immigrants are everywhere we look. They're your Uber drivers. They're your dry cleaners. And they could even be the ones that are having one-on-one interactions with your kids because they're the nanny while you're off at work. A child never wants to see their parent suffer, watching their parent work countless hours. I felt that burden with my mother, watching her stay up those countless hours, just provide some kind of stability or normalcy in my life. Now, an aspect that we truly never focus on is the children of these immigrants. How do we feel? All we always worry about is these immigrants stealing our jobs. But the children who come at an older age experience 2 things. They experience both language barriers and culture shock. Because I grew up speaking English alongside my native language, Urdu. I never had a problem communicating with my American peers. But for students that come at an older age and do not know English, they can be misidentified as special education, or advised not to take harder level courses, such as the Advanced Placement Program or the International Baccalaureate, which can provide these students the opportunities that they came here to pursue. Instead of praising these students for their ability to speak multiple languages, they are deemed unlikely to succeed. Their language barriers are perceived as intelligence deficiencies. Now, language barriers are not only seen in education, but they're seen in day-to-day life. When you go to the nail salon, who do you see? Usually men and women from an Asian country, right? But what do you hear when you go to these nail salons? Those workers talking about how nasty your feet look. And if that bag you have is actually Gucci or not. We're all worried about these workers talking about us. Oh my God, do our feet smell? No, they're most likely talking about their kids in the back and what they're cooking for dinner. A normal conversation that we all have. Only difference is that they're talking in another language. Just a few days ago, I went to go get my nails done. And I was sitting next to a woman, and you could see the uncomfortableness on her face because the worker was talking in Vietnamese. Because Vietnamese hold 40% of all nail licenses in America. So you could see the woman's concern on her face. So she asked the worker, "Hey, could you maybe not talk in that language? It's making me kind of uncomfortable." And of course the worker said, "Yes, ma'am," because the customer's always right. But for that worker, they had to stop doing something that is comfortable for them, talking in a language that they've learned from childhood. Just another way immigrants have to conform to America's do's and don'ts. Now, one thing I've always remembered was how my mother was treated in day-to-day life. I remember going to JCPenney when I was around 6 or 7, and I had a bunch of clothes in my hands. And I plopped them on the register, and I was looking at my mom, waiting for her to pay. And the worker looked at her and said, "Are you from here? Your daughter doesn't have an accent, but you do. Why is that?" Such a harmless question. But it isn't harmless to us, not to me, not to my mother, not to any immigrant, because it shows us that no matter how hard we try, we will never be able to fit in because of our voice, because of the way we look, what we wear. Watching my mother having to explain herself on countless hours, countless days, were the longest moments of my life. I don't know how to fix how immigrants feel in America or how they live here, but I do know that the Center of American Progress says that if we hire these foreign doctors, we can fix the rural crisis in states such as Mississippi, where we have a shortage of physicians. We have to also advocate for the uneducated immigrant. But to fix any problem that we have with immigration, we have to open our eyes, understand how these immigrants truly feel, understand that they will have cultural and linguistic issues that isolate them from us, from you. You know what I also know? I am not the girl with knives in her shoes. I am not the girl with a bomb in her backpack. I'm Areesha Razi. I'm an AP capstone student. I'm a French horn player. I'm an immigrant's daughter, and I am not dangerous. Thank you.